So dear cadets, study till question number 7 of NCERT exercises of chapter number 8 we have discussed. Now two more questions are there, that is the question number 8 and question number 9. These are MCQ type of questions. We will complete and I am hoping that already you have written those exercises which I have completed yesterday. And just see, some of the questions are bit big, so no need to worry about. Just you can write in your own words also. I don't have problem, but keep completing all those things. As far as the coverage of the syllabus is concerned, now we are reaching to the halfway marks, so there is no problem as far as timely completion of the syllabus. Only the thing is you keep writing, and these exercises, diagram and all other things are equally important. Always remember, it doesn't mean that in between exercise you will not write. Keep writing those exercises also, and at the end of chapter we are completing the NCERT exercises. In the science, question can be asked from anywhere. Question can be asked from the chapter ending exercise or in between questions. That is why full coverage I have given as far as in between exercises are concerned. Go. So now question number 8. Which one of the following place is unlikely to be affected by cyclone? The first option is Chennai. Next one is Mangaluru, Amritsar and Puri. Now try to understand. Generally, where cyclone is coming? Cyclone is coming in coastal areas. So just see, Chennai is also near to the coast. Mangaluru is also near the coast. Amritsar is situated in Punjab, and Punjab is not at all near to the coast. So Amritsar is the right answer. Puri is situated in Odisha and it is also near to the coast. Always remember, the cyclone prone areas are coastal areas. So Amritsar is the right answer. Question number 9. Which of the statement given below is correct? Just see. In winter the winds flow from the land to the ocean. In winter, and see, when I taught you the generation of wind current, then all these points we have discussed. In summer the winds flow from the land toward the ocean. A cyclone is formed by a very high pressure system with very high speed winds revolving around it. Fourth one is, the coastline of India is not vulnerable to cyclones. So which one is the correct statement? In winter the winds flow from the land to the ocean. This is the only correct answer. Now other options are not correct. So in this way your entire NCERT exercises of chapter number 8 is completely completed. So dear cadets, in this way your chapter number 8 is completely completed. Now this is the turn to teach you chapter number 9. So what is the name of chapter number 9? The name of chapter number 9 is soil. Just try to understand. Now here I am giving you the outline. How many things are included in chapter number 9? So under soil, these are the things which are included. Number 1 thing is introduction and definition of soil with their importance. So what are the importance of soil? Everybody knows. Without the soil, what is there? Crops cannot be grown, and then food we will not have. So first I will teach you the introduction, definition and importance. Afterwards, soil profile. Do you understand the meaning of soil profile? Structure of soil. Structure of soil. So there are different layers of soils are there. They are known as A horizon, B horizon, C horizon and bedrock. This last word is bedrock. So just see, each horizon has got certain features, certain characteristics. We will explain that one also. Next one is types of soil. How many types of soils are there? There are three types. There are many types of soil, but according to the syllabus of this chapter, there are basically three types of soil: sandy soil, clay soil, loamy soil. So not only will teach you the type of soil, what are the characteristics of each type of soil. Like in sandy soil, what are the characteristics? Sandy soil is made up of big particles. So what is there? If it is made up of big particle, then interparticle gaps will be more and it will be airy. Airy means concentration of air will be more in between the particles of sandy soil. Its water holding capacity will be less because gaps are more. So water will drain one place to another place. Its water holding capacity will be less. Similarly, packing means what is there? How closely particles are coming together. So since the particles are big, then packing will be loose. So same way clay soil it is made up of small particles. So its packing is very close. Its water holding capacity is very high. It is not much airy. So same thing with the loamy soil. Loamy soil is in between sandy soil and clay soil. All these properties we will discuss. Next one is properties of soil. What are the properties of soil? So now here how many properties I have discussed? Number one, the size of particle. Second one is airy, whether type of soil is airy or not. Water holding capacity. So these are the some properties, and on the basis of these properties we will discuss here percolation rate. In which soil, in which type of soil percolation rate will be more, and which type of soil percolation rate will be less. Similarly, which soil will hold more moisture, which soil will hold less moisture. Similarly, water absorption, which will absorb more water, which will absorb less water, and at the end what is there? Erosion, soil erosion. So these are the mind maps of the soil chapter. These are the things which are included in the soil chapter, and one by one each type should be discussed here. So now I am going to begin with the introduction, definition and importance of soil. So dear cadets, now I am starting with the introduction of soil. Introduction to soil. So just try to understand here. What is soil? It is nothing but a natural resource. Just see. It is the topmost layer of earth. So actually what is the difference between earth and soil? The uppermost layer of earth is known as soil, and this part is only fertile and this is only useful for the animals. Inside what is there? Of course inside also so many minerals and some other important things are there, but the topmost layer is the most beneficial for the human beings and other animals. Their survival is because of the topmost layer only. So this topmost layer of the earth is known as soil. Actually try to understand how this topmost layer is formed. The topmost layer of earth is formed by the breaking down of rocks into small pieces, and there are some other materials on the earth's surface. They also gradually decompose, and because of their decomposition this soil is formed, and this process is known as weathering. So always remember, the process of formation of soil is known as weathering, and there are some environmental factors like ice, temperature, wind speeds and some other chemicals which are increasing the rate of decomposition of rocks and some other materials. They are only helping in weathering process. So if factors are favorable, then the formation of soil is more, and this process is known as weathering. There is a separate topic for weathering of rocks or formation of soil. I will discuss it later, but right now you note down this one. So by the introduction of soil, we have come to the conclusion that soil is nothing but a mixture of rock particle with the organic matter like humus. So always remember, soil is the mixture of rock particle with organic matter like humus. Always remember, the fertility of the soil is because of the presence of humus. And what is the humus? Humus is nothing but a dead remains of plant and animals. You know, in the soil there are so many small animals and so many small and big plants. So when they decompose, their body is made up of minerals only. Those decomposed parts mixed with the soil, and these dead remains of plants and animals are known as humus. And this is responsible for the fertility of the soil. And crops are growing because of this humus layer only. And you might have heard sometime what is there? Fertility of the soil is reduced. When the fertility of the soil is reduced, then what is there? Either you are adding manure or fertilizer. For what you are adding manure and fertilizers? You are adding manure and fertilizer to increase the fertility. So you are not increasing any other thing to the soil by the addition of manure and fertilizer. Just you are increasing the level of humus in the soil so that the fertility of the soil can be grown. Only one difference is there between fertilizer and manure. What is that one? Manures are the organic substance and they are obtained from the dead remains of plant and animals and some other animal waste. And fertilizers are the inorganic substance like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. So when they are added to the soil, let it be manure or fertilizer, they increase the nutrients level in the soil. So indirectly you are increasing the fertility of the soil. So this is all about the introduction and definition of the soil. So dear cadets, now formation of soil. So soil is formed by the weathering of rocks. So heading you can write both, I don't have any problem. Means the formation of soil is taken place by the process of weathering of rocks. So the question arises here, what is the weathering? So weathering is nothing but a process of breaking down of rocks by environmental factor like heat, cold, wind, rain, frost, etc. is known as weathering. So to understand the weathering in detail, I will take the help of extra marks. So dear cadets, see the weathering. So already the definition portion I told you means breaking down of rocks by heat, cold, frost, wind speed, that is known as weathering. Actually the small particles of rocks, they undergo so many decomposition stages. So they undergo various stages of decomposition by variety of natural processes like oxidation, reduction, hydration, hydrolysis. And these processes are responsible for making these small rock particles further small. Means this oxidation, reduction, hydration, hydrolysis, carbonation, they makes the rock particle very fine. Not only this one, just see, in the earth's surface there are so many small plants like lichens and some other plants. They excrete some acids. They means produce some acids, and these acids accelerate the process of weathering. And when they exceed the process of weathering, then what is there? Those soil rock particle, they further divided into small pieces. When they divided into very small pieces, that is only soil. What is soil? You might have seen the soil, very small fine particles are there. So basically soil is formed from the rocks by the process of weathering. So just see, many microorganisms also help in this process. now just see. Okay, so try to understand. There are some other factors which are responsible for the breaking of the big rock particle. The expansion and the condensation of the rocks due to the seasonal changes and day-night variation in the temperature leads to soil formation. So not only those factors are responsible, some seasonal factors are also responsible for breaking down of soil. The expansion of water during frosting at a low temperature results in cracking. So when cracking is there, then also fine particles of the soil is formed. So dear cadets, now what are the importance of soil? I hope that weathering you have got. So weathering is nothing but a process by which big rock particles decompose into very small fine particles, and they are only forming the soil with the help of natural factors like hot, cold, wind speed, frost, etc. And now in importance of soil, so basically there are many importance of soil, but all importance are hidden under these two headings only. Just see, soil is bad for the growth of so many plants. Just see, if soil is not there, plant will not grow. If plant will not grow, then we will not have food. If plants are not there, animals will also be not there. Then what is there? The basic importance of soil is make one fertile bed for the growth of plant. When plant will grow, then only other animal can survive. Not only this one, when plants are there, then photosynthesis process will be there, and through photosynthesis process we are getting food and we are getting the life-saving gas, that is oxygen. So who is responsible for the growth of plant? Soil only. So soil is doing very important work here. Next one is soil is home for many microorganisms. You just see, if you see the carefully, then there are small holes, small burrows, small pores in which so many microorganisms are staying. And see, in these small pores, burrows, what is there? Sufficient quantity of oxygen is also available. Not only that one, moisture, water is also available in those pores, small pores. And because of the availability of oxygen, so many organisms are surviving there. And if you want to conduct one experiment, very easily you can conduct for proving the presence of oxygen in the soil. Just try to understand. One handful soil you take, or just see, lump of soil you can take, lump of soil. Same lump of soil you dip in the water, then what is there? Bubbles will come out. Why bubbles will come out? Actually, in the lumps of soil, small pores are there. In those small pores, air is trapped, and when you dip this one to the water, so water will go to those small pores, and whatever air is trapped, it will come out. That is why small bubbles are coming out. This activity proves that sufficient amount of air or oxygen is trapped in the small pores of soil. So dear cadets, this is enough for today's video. Now this is the time to check your knowledge. So now learning outcome. So today I am giving you less number of questions. Just first question you write, what is soil? What is soil? Okay. What is soil? Write its type. Types. Next question is, this is the question number 1. Now write question number 2. What is weathering? Explain the process of weathering. explain the process of weathering. Just I am giving you two questions. You write down these questions answer only, because some of the question of previous chapter you have to write. So in this way, that is the portion which are related with the introduction and definition of cycle I have complete. Thank you.